Good evening, class. Did any of you grow up with a grandpa or granddad that loved to just go fishing and you went with them all the time? I was lucky enough. I grew up with my dad, and we went fishing all the time on the James River in Richmond, Virginia. I did not grow up with my grandpa. I never knew him, but my dad took me fishing probably almost every weekend that we had a free moment that I was not playing another sport. So this evening I'm here to tell you about my love of fishing and baits and lures and reels that I use on a daily basis or whenever I am able to go fishing. So the reel that I prefer to use is a spinning reel. This is a spinning reel here. It's very simple to use. It's not as simple as something that a 2-year-old uses with the little push button, and then you cast, and you let go of the button as soon as the lure flies away. But this one, this is a spinning reel. It's a very cheap, inexpensive reel from Walmart, but it does the trick, and I think it's the easiest to use. So I am here in Orlando, Florida at my in-laws' house for Christmas, and every time I'm here visiting, whether it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, summer break, I always go fishing as much as I can. They live on a private lake, which makes fishing access very easy. It's not an all-day affair. I don't have to load the boat up on the trailer, hook it up to the truck, tow it all the way down to the boat ramp, deal with the idiots at the boat ramp trying to get my boat into the water, tie it up, park the truck and the trailer, go back to the boat, finally get out on the lake, have to find a fishing spot that's not already taken by somebody else. So it's very simple. They live on a lake, they have a dock, they have a boat lift and a pontoon boat, which is great for a lot of people to fish off of. So I wake up early. Before anybody else wakes up, I always wake up pretty much at sunrise or just before. Get out there, perfect time for fishing. It doesn't matter if it's 80 degrees in the morning or it's 40 degrees in the morning. I will be out there fishing. Best time of the day, either morning or evening to fish. But so that's the reel that I use. Grew up using live bait, actually live minnows. That's all we ever fished with. But since then, I've learned to use artificial lures. So you got the spinning reel that I used earlier, and then my go-to bait that I always use is this. It's called a horny toad. It actually just looks like a frog. Here's his little legs. And my color that I always prefer to use is watermelon seed red. So it's a green frog, and there's actually red glitter on the inside of it. You can kind of see it sparkling there. Now you toss that in. As soon as it gets in the water, the green part of it disappears in the water, and the red glitter really shines bright, and the bass are able to see it. So that is my go-to lure. The bass here in this lake absolutely love it. They will hit it as soon as it hits the water, depending on the water temperature, which way the winds are blowing, what the temperature outside is. So obviously if it's cold water, the fish are going to be sluggish and not very active. So you have to reel or retrieve your lure slower than normal. So you got the spinning reel, that's my go-to. You got my lure, that is my go-to. And then also my in-laws live on, it's called Lake Olivia. It's in Windermere, Florida, just outside of Orlando. And it is the best lake that I've fished on. There are many lakes in Orlando area and in Florida in general, but there are the chain of lakes over in Windermere. So the Butler chain of lakes is what they're called. Huge bass come out of there. The biggest bass I've ever caught in my life was actually out of this lake that my in-laws live on, and it was not on one of these frogs. It was on a spinnerbait, a white spinnerbait, about 8 years ago. I caught a 7-pound bass. I've never caught anything freshwater bigger than that, bass-wise. Maybe I've caught a catfish bigger, but 7-pound bass. So, gist of this evening is bass fishing. This is my spinning reel that I use, and this is the lure that I love to fish with whenever I can. So you throw it in, retrieve it on top of the water, or you can have a hook, a weighted hook on it, so it can go under the water and retrieve it slow. It'll go under, but biggest deal is if you love fishing, I recommend to use a spinning reel with this lure, or you can use a bait caster reel. I just have never used one of those because they're difficult to get used to and fine tune to how you want to cast. So whatever rod reel you use, I recommend using this horny toad. It's made by Zoom. Here's the package for it, and right there it says watermelon red. It is the best lure that I know of to fish with in Central Florida. So with that, go out and get yourself some fishing equipment. It doesn't matter where you go. You can go to Bass Pro Shops or Walmart, but wherever you go, try to find yourself a horny toad watermelon seed red.